Welcome to She Speaks, Voices of Empowerment. I'm Anne-Marie.
And I'm Shantae, and we're thrilled to have you join us on this incredible journey.
In each episode, we'll explore the inspiring world of women's stories through candid conversations with remarkable women from various industries.
From life advice and personal growth to navigating careers and breaking barriers, our guests will share their journeys, insights, and the valuable lessons they've learned along the way.
So whether you're looking for motivation, practical advice, or just a good dose of inspiration, She Speaks is your go-to podcast for celebrating the strength and resilience of women everywhere.
So prepare to be inspired and empowered as we uncover the power of sharing our stories.
Let's start speaking! Hey girl! Hi, hoe gaat dit?
Dit gaan English.
It's nice to be back.
We are now recording our second official podcast.
Second episode. Thank you to everyone listening. And thank you to all the nice messages that we got.
Yes.
To every inspirational message, every, WhatsApp, every Instagram message.
Yes.
Shame, I had a friend, and if you're listening to this one, thank you. Welcome back. I had a friend that messaged me. They're actually overseas.
Yeah.
And she said that, she really enjoyed the podcast and it was really nice to hear South African voices. And now that I'm thinking about it, I'm not sure if I replied to the message, but in the moment,
Her heart replied to you.
My heart was just, I felt so much love. And thank you so much. Thank you.
I think the words that will come out of the South African accent is ja.
Yeah.
And yo.
Ja, nee.
All of those things. We will be full of
Now.
Lekker.
Now, we're going to be talking.
No. But how has your week been?
Week's been good. We, as you guys will have noticed, there's like a little bit of a delay between publishing or posting or uploading, but whichever.
Getting
take
to
your
you
pick,
guys.
Getting this information out there.
You.
We went away for a little bit. It was a bit of a work trip, so that was great. We are back now, and life's going good.
Yeah.
Than't you for looking after Kit Kat.
I just want to share a little bit there.
Yes, you can
So
share.
I went over, and I don't understand cat. What is it? Like
body language.
Body language, yes. And Kit Kat would literally just put her head on the tiles and then put her bum in my face. I'm like, girl, why are you putting your bum?
Girl, that's too much, girl.
And then I remember Anna-Marie said she loves bum pats on her back. So I was like, I think this is the sign. So I went do, and she loved it. So
She did.
Thank you.
She did. She loved the little bum pad. Yeah.
Yeah, but I also had a good week. I think my life at the moment is quite boring. Just been busy with work, have a few projects coming up. We know that January is the time that people are jumping into new things. So I think in my team, we're doing a lot of upskilling. That's fun. Duan was out of town for a little bit, so I was womaning alone with my baby.
Girl bossing.
Yeah. Changing
Mom
nappies all by
bossing.
myself. So my life is not very interesting at the moment. Yeah, but I think we want to chat about our guest today.
Yes,
And Marie knows her very well.
Yes.
This woman has sculpted Anna-Marie.
She has maybe mentioned that she can see some ab definition.
Yes.
But just a little, guys, just a little.
No, it's looking good.
But yes, so today we will have Melissa on the show. Yes. Melissa is an incredible woman, actually. She's a mom. She is a business owner. Actually, she's a multiple business owner. She's, a Pilates instructor. She is juggling quite a few things, but still, she manages to make time to also just focus on being the best version of herself that she can be. And I think for us, maybe the reason why we wanted someone like Melissa on the show is because, it's the start of the year. It's finally the last day of January. I feel like everyone can agree that January was quite long. But, January. So we felt that there's a lot of expectation that comes with the start of the year. A lot of people have set New Year's resolutions. A lot of people are like, we want to go all out. We want to, do all these challenges. But I think maybe it would be good to hear from someone like Melissa that you shouldn't feel the need to go so hard, so quickly. It's rather, you're going to set yourself up for a much more successful 2025 if you focus on balance, focus on, you know, small wins and not setting yourself up for failure.
I love her philosophy when it comes to health and wellness. I think, again, we're bombarded with so many different things of you need to do these 10 things to be able to be healthy.
Yeah.
But you guys will see in the episode, and just the way that she speaks, she simplifies it so much that you feel like, I can change, I can actually do this.
And
So
you can actually do this.
I would sum up her philosophy as kind to yourself.
Yeah.
And that is so cool. Yeah, so you guys will hear in the episode, but as Anne-Marie said, she wears so many hats. She's also on the creative side where she's a designer, graphic designer.
Yeah.
She has her own YouTube channel, Instagram channel with a lot of content that's really entertaining. Yeah, I'm just overall excited to have her here. I love the way that her mind works, and I hope to catch some of that information for myself.
Yeah. And we'll also be putting all of her information down in the comments, in the description.
Please follow her.
Please follow her. Please reach out. It's amazing. Like, her content is amazing. She's amazing. And I think, I just think that you guys are going to enjoy this challenge. Enjoy this.
Enjoy this episode.
This episode so much. This challenge.
Welcome to Melissa. Thank you for joining us today.
It's such a pleasure. Thank you for having me, lady.
Thank you. So this is our first official amazing woman that we know, that we love, that we have on the podcast today, that we're so thankful for.
Yes.
So thank you so much for coming through and being a part of this and saying yes. Thank you for saying yes.
Yeah, well, I hope I live up to your expectations.
A little quick disclaimer for the guests. I waited until she gave a very intense Pilates class, and then when I knew she was tired and she couldn't say no, I asked her to be on the podcast. And there was like the slightest hesitation, but then she was like, yeah, of course.
You didn't have energy to think and say no.
Yeah, I waited until that moment where I knew she had no energy and she couldn't say no to me. And that is how this has happened.
Yeah. To be fair, I never have any energy. So. I'm a busy mom. I've got a lot to do. I don't sleep through the night, so you could have got me at any point during the day, night, whenever, and I probably would have been tired.
So we need to say thank you to your kids. Thank you.
Thank you, Melissa's family. Family and friends.
Yeah. But I think we'll dive right in. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, just like an introduction? Who is Melissa?
What is Melissa?
What is Melissa
Where
even?
is Melissa?
Wow, that's a deep question. I am Melissa, the mom, Melissa, the Pilates instructor, Melissa, the designer, Melissa, the social media, whatever.
Content creator.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
And I think that's the beauty of the show as well.
Yes.
To show, you know, you don't have to, you can have so many roles, like, just as you do. You have all these hats that you wear throughout the day, throughout the week, and you don't have to have it figured out.
It's a journey.
It's a journey.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Should we tell the audience how we met Melissa?
I mean, I feel like they knew now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I was very nervous actually because I'm also a mom that didn't exercise after baby, and then she got me to go to a heated Pilates class. And for those that really know me, I hate heat and I get hot very easily, so I was terrified. But when I got into the class, you were so kind to me and so like gentle. I felt at ease. So I want to say thank you that you really, like, when I walked in, I was like, oh my goodness, I'm gonna die. I did die a little bit, but the love was there and you were very kind. So thank you, Melissa.
I annihilated you.
I was like soaking wet and I was like a tomato, but I love that because then I know my body did something. So thank you.
Melissa has completely ruined me for any other Pilates instructor.
Oh,
because, no, I don't even say that lightly. Because, I had a bit of an injury, but that's a story for another day. I had a bit of an injury that I had to get through, and basically what was told, or the advice that I was given was focus on Pilates, focus on strength. And someone actually shared you are a Pilates instructor at Alive Fitness Studios.
Heated Fitness, yeah.
Heated Fitness. And that's in Somerset West, by the way. We'll tag and link everything in the description. And I think the first time going to one of Melissa's classes, I was terrified because I'd never really done Pilates before. You know, I'd kind of gone to some of the gym that I visit, you know, their Pilates classes, but it was nothing close to what I experienced that first day. I couldn't walk probably for like 5 days after, and I was like, no, can I even go back? Like, how am I gonna go back? But I feel like I've definitely progressed into being way stronger than what I used to be. And yeah, it's all thanks to you.
Do you know, I think you were one of the first people in the first time I taught. You were one of the first people in my class.
My word, really?
You're inclined?
Yes, us too.
So you both were there together for the first time. That's perfect.
Both equally nervous.
Nervous for different reasons.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, but I want to say, just a disclaimer, I think I mentioned before, but we took a deep dive also on your pages because you've got a YouTube channel, your Instagram is quite active. And it was just so cool to go through everything to see you've got this wellness mama roadmap and like being a mom and struggling with guilt and figuring out how to balance my own life. That is really incredible. And even the different programs that you have, the prenatal ones, the getting stronger, what was the other one? The sculpting. You've got all of these different programs that caters to specific people and what they're looking for. So yeah, if you guys want to check it out, so worth it. So health and wellness is a very big thing for you. And it's something that you promote on socials, you promote in the way that you do things. We admire it a lot. But I want to know your why behind it. Why did you get into wellness? We're not just talking about the mom side, but about the wellness health. Why did you get into it?
Yeah, we can definitely start there. And my background is actually in design.
Sure.
So I'm a designer, and I just felt like I had such a passion for wellness and nutrition and exercise and all of the whole thing holistically. And I wanted to share that on my social media. So I started my Instagram page, which is Well with Melissa. And at first I was sharing mostly plant-based recipes because I was plant-based at that time. And it was my way to come up with new recipes for myself, but to also promote a healthier way of living. So this is before I had any kids. And I shared recipes, I had a blog, and then I went further into the fitness side. So during that time, I was doing a lot of strength-based workouts like bodybuilding style, and I wanted to get more into Pilates. So what I did was I just jumped in and did my Pilates teacher training when I was 6 months pregnant with my first.
Oh my word.
That's when you decided now is the time.
Stop Pilates training.
I did the stuff Pilates.
Yeah, okay.
And I was the only one in that class who was 6 months pregnant, and I couldn't do all the moves.
Sure. But the fact that you were,
yes, she can now. She can now.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's when you decided it's time.
Yeah. And I was just like, so I had my recipes and my healthy living, and I just wanted to further learn more about the human body and like certain patterns of movement and how that can benefit me during pregnancy, but also postpartum. Because I feel like it's becoming more popular, but there was a total disconnect between, okay, you are exercising now, before you're pregnant, you're going hard, you're going strong. What do you actually do afterwards? How do you heal your body so that you can function optimally as a mom and be strong and be healthy and not be feeling frumpy, and I feel like a lot of moms feel like once they have kids, that's it for them. They can't get their bodies back. They don't have time to eat healthy.
Yeah.
And it's very, very far from the truth. It's all about balance.
Yeah.
You have to be a healthy mom to be a good mom. Your kids basically, you're basically the center of the family. And if you are feeling down and weak and just not your healthiest self, and when I say healthiest self, I mean relatively, because we're not all perfectly healthy.
Yeah.
When you are feeling your healthiest self in your role as a mother, everything just runs much more smoothly than if you are feeling weak, you're feeling overwhelmed, you're feeling tired. It's just a constant cycle. And you want to break that negative cycle and rather change it to a positive one where you're like, okay, I have my certain habits that I stick to that make me feel good. And that habit, say it's healthy eating. Now that habit makes me feel good so that I feel like exercising. And then because I've exercised, I feel like eating healthy again. It creates that constant loop, good feedback loop. And it keeps you in a positive frame of mind. Your mental health is good and your physical health is good. And it's just overall good for your family.
Yeah. What would your key piece of advice be for someone that's standing at this precipice of wanting to be stronger, wanting to be healthy, wanting to be that woman, you know, that can do all this? Like, how do they become more like you?
Simplify it. Simplify it. Don't overwhelm yourself. You've already got so much going on. You see so many challenges and things out there of you got to go hard or go home. As a mom, you can't do that.
Yeah.
You're setting yourself up to fail. What you have to do is you have to take small steps, and it has to be simple, easy enough for you to stick to long term. Once you have that consistency going, you tend to want to level up naturally without you even realizing it.
Sure.
You've gotten used to, say, having your herbal tea every night before you go to bed. This is just an example. And you do it every night now. Now maybe you add something else on, like you take your supplements with your herbal tea every night, like your ashwagandha and your magnesium, those type of supplements. And now that becomes a habit. And it's just a constant progression. And that makes you feel healthier so that you have more energy the next morning. And because you have more energy the next morning, you are more likely to exercise and eat healthy. It just flows.
Is that your way of talking about habit stacking? You start with
Yeah,
one
it
thing,
is habit stacking.
and then the next thing.
Yes, but habit stacking in a slow way, where you are progressing slowly. You're not overwhelming yourself by saying, okay, I need to do this, this, and this. Like, start small. Start small. Go for a walk around the block for 10 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's very important because, so it's the start of the year now, and I think you know where I'm going with this.
Yes.
We're going to do a brief off-camera discussion on this. But, you know, it's the start of the year. Everyone, you know, they have these crazy New Year resolutions where, you know, they want to quit sugar. They want to quit caffeine. They want to quit, I don't know, they want to quit various things, alcohol. But now, you know, on top of quitting that and the stress of quitting all these things, they want to introduce, you know, exercising for 2 hours a day.
Sure.
I don't know. We hear some crazy challenges, and I feel just, you know, also trying to support that very holistic lifestyle, supporting, you know, finding balance, finding consistency. Don't you think that doing all these crazy things, it's not necessarily going to give you that long-term sense of achievement because you're setting yourself up for failure? Like, isn't that maybe something that also, that I feel like people out there should know? Like, you're setting yourself up for failure by saying, oh, I need to work out 2 hours a day, all these other things.
It's absolutely mind-boggling how you can go from exercising or not exercising or exercising a little bit to 2 hours a day as a mom who doesn't have the flexibility to leave her home necessarily, who doesn't have the time because she's working and she's taking care of kids and running a household. How are you going to fit 2 hours in when you're already feeling burnt out? 2 hours of exercise, and then you're not taking any rest days. How's your body recovering? It just leads to more burnout. And it makes you feel down. It makes you feel worthless. It creates negativity in your mental health. It makes you feel like a failure. And then you don't want to do any kind of exercise. You don't want to eat healthy because why? Is that all or nothing mindset?
Yeah.
And if we want to be healthy, we can't have an all or nothing mindset. There's no such thing as perfection. We need to drop it. It's about sustainability.
Yeah. That's a beautiful word. We like that word.
Yes.
Yeah.
What can you actually sustain long term? These challenges, they focus on a certain amount of days.
Yes. Very often. It's, 1 week, 2 week, however many days.
How long is your life? Should you rather be thinking, instead of a few days, maybe 50 years?
Yeah.
Of course, your health is going to change as you go along. Nothing's going to stay the same. Your fitness routine's going to change. Your eating habits is going to change. Things are going to change as you get older.
Even the amount of hours you have available for certain things, like your priorities are going to change.
Yes, your priorities, like motherhood, your priorities are going to change. And if you're looking for short-term challenges, you're going to get short-term results.
Sure.
Yeah.
Health is about the long game. It's like the story of the was it the tortoise and the rabbit?
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Was it-
the tortoise and the hare.
Yes, that's it. And who won that race?
Yeah.
Yes.
The tortoise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like a moral behind that story. So we need to have a real like overview of our life and be like, okay, this is just a season. I'm going to do what I can because 20 minutes as opposed to doing nothing.
Yeah.
It's better.
Over time, 20 minutes every day a week as opposed to do, I don't know, maybe an hour a day once a week. Like what adds up?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the short term but consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
I think we also, all of us, because we're all relatively the same age, I think we also all grew up in that mindset, also like the role models that we had,
Oh my
very
goodness.
quickly. It's like a crash diet. It's a do this. And it took me until my late 20s to actually find out, no, rather take this from a more, view it from a more sustainable, more sustainable
Perspective.
perspective. And I think also just being exposed to the content that you put out on your Instagram, on your YouTube, even that, like following that last year, I had such a mind shift because I actually love that you said that you were also like in the, heavy weights, crazy, throwing those things around into going
Like literally.
into like Pilates, because that's how my training looked. My training was very much weights focused, and then we did the running thing. We're still doing it. Yes, but because all of a sudden it went into, oh my word, because not that Pilates had a bit of a stereotype, but I believe that you're not going to work out as hard.
So did I.
That you're not gonna
You were wrong.
I was very wrong. And all of a sudden, I'm seeing, even in my own body, I'm seeing, sure, I'm not exercising for the same intensity, but the work that I'm doing now, physically, I feel better. I'm way stronger. Stupid things like my core is stronger. I can carry my camera and my gear around without my lower back, feeling like it's going to break. But I haven't needed to sacrifice crazy amounts of time during my day, during my week. And it's been way more of a sustainable approach, going forward, like in this more holistic way. And injury wise, I'm not getting injuries. So unless I do something stupid, but I'm not getting that. So I can think for also, from like a mom's perspective, how 10 minutes a day, 10 minutes can be so life changing. Can be so
And 10 minutes of one of my workouts.
10 minutes
Yes.
of Melissa's workouts.
She's got 10-minute workouts, by the way.
Yeah, she's got a
Yeah.
whole bunch of things.
But on that, in building your habits and like going long term instead of short term, I think one thing I love this video of yours that you said motivation is stupid, because people were like, I want to feel motivated and then I'm going to start and I'm going to do this thing. And so, but in this one video, you said motivation is stupid. Stop waiting for motivation. Can you explain to our listeners, what do you mean by that?
Motivation's not totally stupid.
It was just such a cool hook.
If you use it right. The thing is, people rely on motivation, but motivation, it's connected to our emotions.
Yeah.
How are we feeling? We could wake up in the morning and feel motivated, but we get a text message that's not so good from our friend or family member. Do we feel motivated after we have a bad text message? We usually feel down. We don't feel like doing anything.
Yeah.
And you cannot use motivation as an excuse not to do something.
Yeah.
People use it as an excuse. That's why it's stupid.
Yeah. When you have motivation, use it. If you don't, stick to your decision that you made.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's about, I like to view it as a non-negotiable. So what I will do, okay, I want to do 20 minutes of Pilates tomorrow. Whether I'm feeling this or that, this is my non-negotiable, and I'm going to do it at this time. That's my non-negotiable that I'm setting. Whether I feel motivated or not, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Unless, life throws a massive curveball where something happens, like a child gets sick and you have to go to the hospital or something like that. But it's having those non-negotiables that you always stick to. They don't have to be big. They can be small. But you always stick to them. It's your little daily dose of health that keeps you going, that keeps you feeling healthy and good. It's not about motivation. Motivation is great. I love motivation, but it's not sustainable.
Yeah.
So it's that swapping out of motivation for, making a habit, making it a discipline.
Yeah.
Rather than, waiting for this, I don't know, if you're lying on the couch, waiting for the motivation to kick in.
So do you, because I hear you saying you decided to do 20 minutes this time, this place. Do you sit weekly and you're like, okay, this is what my workouts would look like? Or how do you plan? Is it the day before?
Yes, it's usually the day before.
Okay.
So in the evening, I will think about my next day. I will plan out my work, the things that I need to do, my workouts, basically my whole day. And I will decide, okay, I can fit in exercise at this time, whether it be 6 a.m. in the morning, and that's my only time that I can do it, and I have to get up before the kids. That's when I'll do it. Or if it's at 10 a.m. and I'm teaching a Pilates class and that's my workout for the day, fantastic. So it's about having flexible structure.
Yeah.
Okay. But there is some component of planning. So you give
Yes.
some thought to it. It doesn't just magically happen.
No. You can't just turn up the day and say, I'm going to exercise when I feel like it during the day.
No.
Because you'll get busy.
Yeah.
I think especially being a mom, you don't really know what the day is going to throw at you. You don't really know what kind of mood your children are going to be in, whether they're going to not feel well or, I think especially from your stories, sometimes your girls, they throw a little bit of a curveball. So that's why that planning component is so important.
Yeah. And I think as a mom, something that I also had to understand was I have my structure and I've planned to do this at a certain time. I've had to learn to be flexible with that structure. Whereas when I wasn't a mom, I was like, that was my structure. That's what I did at that time.
Yeah.
And like nothing can get in the way type of thing.
Yeah.
So it's a mindset shift as well. Depending on how your personality is, if you like structure, if you don't like structure, you've got to learn to implement it, or you've got to learn to be flexible about it. And it also all comes down to the all or nothing mindset.
Yeah. I almost want to say the all or nothing mindset shouldn't exist. It's like whatever you can do. I saw this video. I don't know if we can cut this out maybe, but I saw this video of someone just mixing some mustard on their shirt, and they said like the all or nothing mindset is okay. Take the whole mustard and put it over you.
Yeah.
Or like you break up one block of chocolate and like, oh, I already started eating it. Let me just eat the whole thing. That's the all or nothing mindset. Oh, I poured some coffee on the floor. Let me just dunk the whole thing out. It's like,
Start eating it.
Yeah, it's like
Condensed milk.
okay, that's okay. That is one place in my life where I am all or nothing. But yeah, it's like that actually shouldn't exist. All or nothing should be for our relationships. You know, like I love you forever, but for nothing else.
Yes. No, it's like that all or nothing mindset. It's a big component on what I deal with in my course, my Wild Mama Roadmap course. There's a whole lesson on it in the motivation section of that course, because I feel it's very much linked. And once the motivation goes out, the all or nothing mindset tends to peak.
Yes.
And it's such a hard thing for people to get over, and I don't know why, but just dealing with that and trying to work through that with yourself, because it's just so silly, the pressure that we put on ourselves to be perfect.
Yeah.
It's so unnecessary.
I don't even think it's just moms, because I was actually having a conversation with a friend of mine a little while back, and she was also saying, you know, she's trying to get back into a more healthy routine, but she feels on a day where, you know, she's had some chocolate or she's had maybe takeout, then, you know, it's kind of like all or nothing, kind of like I quit for the day, you know, I can start again tomorrow. So it's actually, even that roadmap of yours, I think that everyone can actually benefit from it, because they, like, so many people, you know, not necessarily even moms, like so many people struggle with that all or nothing mindset.
And imagine if you crack the code at 18. I think,
Yeah.
because for me, when I was younger, I used to, health and wellness was not a thing for me. It was more about how I looked. So I had a certain number on the scale that was not sustainable for my height. Like I am quite a tall girl, but if I think about that number, it's actually like, what was I thinking? But imagine if you crack the code at 18. I'm going to try this today. It's not all or nothing. I'm just going to make this non-negotiable, stick with it, build it. I want to feel good. I want to be good.
I like to use this illustration, is that Rome wasn't built in a day, but they laid bricks every day. And that built a massive city.
Yeah.
So each habit that you do daily is building little bricks, building a city, a big city.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's just like the habits that you build are the bricks. It's just about building on top. And I also like to use the illustration of an onion.
Yes. We love onions. They have layers.
Layers. So when it comes to your health journey, you're literally starting from the outside.
Yeah.
And then say you start, you know, exercising for 10 minutes a day. That's the top layer. Once you start peeling back that layer, maybe you start exercising or doing a Pilates workout for 20 minutes, 5 days a week. That's the next layer. And then you start eating healthier. That's the next layer. And all the time, your health is just progressing. It's never staying the same. It's just progressing, and you're getting deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. It's not about going into something full on that you can't sustain. It's just don't do it.
Yes.
I do have a question though, from like a mom perspective, seeing, you know, that I'm a cat mom. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
But you are.
But I also, again, friends of mine, they work full time. They're a mom. They're very much, you know, there is just a lot of pressure that's placed on moms, where they have to do so many things around the household. I think, I can see how in their lives it builds a lot of pressure. So how would you, and I have seen on your stories as well, you yourself, you advocate for, if you know that you're not going to have time to exercise during the day, you get up at 5 and you do your workout. Is that, how would you implement, or how would you tell someone to implement that? How would you tell people, hey, listen, you know, set yourself up the next day? Like, how would you get someone to just get started?
Well, I actually have a whole YouTube video on that. On how to wake up earlier.
I watched it. I know you're not a morning person. Me neither.
I was in that space where I was working in corporate, and the 8 to 5, and I had to get up early every morning because that was the only time that I could fit in exercise. I couldn't do it throughout the day. I couldn't do it in the evening. That was the only time I had. I had to get up early morning before the kids in winter. Every single morning to exercise.
Sure.
So as a non-morning person, it was a struggle. And I'm just trying to think how I did it.
Please tell us how.
Sheer strong will.
Awesome.
I would go to bed really early.
Okay.
Like 8:30.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. I would go to bed really early. Obviously, if you're going to bed at 11 p.m., 10 p.m., and you got to get up at like 5 a.m., that's just...
It's not sustainable.
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
I would cry.
And I made it a non-negotiable in the fact that I knew that this was the only time I had. This was it. I didn't have the opportunity any other time during the day. It was now or it was never. I knew I was going to be sitting down at that desk for 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
I knew that's not good for my health. I knew that, I don't know, my muscles are going to be stiff. I'm not going to feel good. I'm not going to have as much mental clarity. I'm not going to perform as well if I didn't get some movement in. So I got up early in the morning. I didn't feel like it at all. But I did it because it was a non-negotiable for me, and I made it easy for myself in the fact that I tried not to do like really hard, grueling workouts. You've got to wake up to something that you enjoy.
Yeah.
If you feel like you're planning your workout for the next day to wake up early, and you're feeling like in your chest or stomach area, you feel like, or in your head, you're like, just feeling anxious about it. That like, this is, like, listen to that.
Yeah.
Like, maybe do something different.
Yeah.
So that when you wake up in the morning, you're feeling like, okay, at least I'm going to enjoy this workout. It's not going to be a chore that I have to do.
Yeah.
It's going to be something I'm going to enjoy. I'm going to feel better afterwards. And it's just overall makes me want to get up in the morning.
Yeah.
Being someone that also not, you know, or rather not being someone that was a Pilates person, that didn't come out right. But
We understand.
Not being in the fitness industry.
Yeah, or someone that I wasn't knowledgeable on the benefits of Pilates. So I would often, you know, when I get busy during the day, I would also often structure very intense workouts for the morning. But my body just didn't. I felt very stressed. I felt anxious. I felt tired. I felt fatigued. And I think, changing that as well into it's not even an easier workout. It's just something that's not, way more of like a Pilates focused, a nice deep core exercise routine. It's something you're not necessarily sweating as much, and maybe you don't think this is, so intense, but it is actually, and like you are still doing the hard work, but it's not so physically taxing on your body. And I think that actually has set my days up to be way more successful than those very, very intense workouts. And I think that's something where maybe people feel like they need to be doing those hectic sweat sessions over something that's maybe a bit more holistic.
I've done strength training. I've done running in a very small way. The biggest, the best results I've ever gotten, I mean, like physical results. We're only talking about physical right now. The best results I've gotten is from Pilates. Not heavy weights, not running. Although those things are good.
Yeah.
But I've gotten the best results from doing Pilates. And that is because it's holistic, it's functional, it works the deep core, you are strengthening, you are mobilizing, you are stretching, you are doing everything in one workout. You are working multiple muscle groups in one workout, making it effective and making it good for moms who don't have a lot of time.
Yeah.
We work several muscle groups at once. It's like, it's crazy.
There's one thing I also wanted to ask you about. When you say that you have specific results or benefits from Pilates, the one thing you mentioned was a mind-body connection, that you don't need to think about your movements. That's something that I want to know. How did you figure that out? Because we spoke about it the previous episode. I'm the type of personality, because I used to run, I would just go running and get an injury. But with Pilates, did you find that now you can prevent injury because you get to know your body better? And how do I get there?
You only get there through practice.
Okay.
You only get there through practice. You can't wake up one day and have it. Like, I can tell when a Pilates instructor walks in the room.
Oh my word, she's so good at that. That you're so, like 3 times this happened when I was there. I'm like, how do you know?
You can see the way they hold themselves.
Yes, you
the way they move.
Like you're so good. It's like a superpower.
You can see it.
I know what you do.
They have a certain technique that's learned through practice. And like, if you take one of my classes, I will explain. Oftentimes I explain why you're doing that movement, how to do that movement properly, because you need to learn how to move well in everyday life. And also, when I'm not in the room, you need to know how to move. So if you're doing a different kind of workout, you need to know when you need to engage your core, what muscles you're using, and all of those things. So the only way that you would get there is through practice. That's the only way I got there. Starting from the core, stabilizing the hips, working on that range of motion and all those things. So working on your posture and all of that. I sit here while I'm slouching.
This is my life. Right here, I'm a shrimp girl.
100% over baby.
Yeah, but that is something that I want to get to, like really knowing my body well, because now okay, use this muscle because it will help me have a better posture or do this specific action in a more sustainable way. Yeah.
And like, I think I told you I grew 2 centimeters.
No.
Yes, you did. That's not the real reason why I'm doing Pilates.
You want to get to Alex's level. Girl, you better work.
Get over just when my year comes, like having joined you for a year, my 1-year anniversary, I'm gonna like remeasure myself to be like, have I grown?
Her husband Alex is like really tall.
He's quite tall.
So yeah, I think in the next 5 years you can reach
Yeah,
that.
sure.
Wow.
But yeah, you've grown 2 centimeters like just by your posture. just
Posture
by-
and core.
What? That's incredible. So for all you short girls out there,
Yeah, like I often saw online, like somebody said that they grew taller since doing Pilates. I'm like, what the?
Ow.
What are you talking about? Come on, man. But it's actually true.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to, you know, women out there, to men out there, to moms out there, and, you know, how can they get more of you, get more of this information? How can they follow you?
Okay, well, I just want to say that if you feel like you are failing, you are not. It's just about restructuring things. So it's about prioritizing and not overloading your schedule. We want to make sure that you are doing things optimally, getting the best results through your workouts, through your nutrition, but not making it feel like it is so overwhelming that you can't do it. So we want to simplify it by making your health fit into your life, not the other way around.
Yeah.
And then we also want to give ourselves that grace. Get rid of that all or nothing mindset. Do my Wow Mama Roadmap course, because that's going to help you set your habits, structure your time, boost your energy, and just refine your motivation and get rid of that all or nothing mindset and the limiting beliefs that you have.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if you want all of this information, it is linked
Yes.
on my Instagram link in bio. You can find everything there, even my YouTube channel. You can reach out to me in the DMs. I've got freebies. I've got paid for things. There's a lot.
You
There's
can go
actually
to
lots. There's
Heated
too much.
Pilates.
Heated Pilates
Yes.
if you want me in person or one-on-ones.
Yeah. The Heated Pilates also has a really cool soundtrack. So when you go in there, you're listening to cool music.
Yeah.
Yes.
A little private concert.
Yeah. Well,
Oh, yeah.
But to our listeners, you will definitely be seeing more of Melissa because there's so much that we can still ask you. And as we said in the beginning, you wear so many different hats. So next time we will be chatting more about your creative side and the YouTube journey and all of that. But today, thank you for making us feel
Thank you so much.
you are so kind in the way that you talk about these things that it makes me want to change and it makes me want to do different things in my life. And I think if you approach it with kindness, even with yourself, having grace, like, thank you. I love the way your mind works, and yeah, we really appreciate the
I
time.
really appreciate you being here.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Okay, we're gonna do a move. What move? What's a Pilates move?
What's Pilates move?
Yeah. Okay.
do we flex our abs?
You told me the other day.
Yes.
Bye. Bye.
Okay.